And we're getting some breaking news from Telangana at the moment. Let's take a look at that. We're told that YSRTP chief YS Sharmila has been detained yet again. In fact, she and her party have now hit out at the KCR government in the state, calling it a death of democracy. Let's take a look at this live play out of this interview with YS Sharmila by my colleague Swastika.
Detained once again. What happened today?
As everybody knows, KCR has been trying his best to stop my padyatra. While I was at Narsampet, his party's gundas burnt my bus down. They attacked us. They burnt our flexis, they burnt our YSR statues, they beat our people up, they threatened us, they did all kinds of havoc. And the police arrested me, citing there is a law and order problem, even though we were not the cause for the law and order problem. We were the victims, and in spite of this, we were arrested. I was arrested. I was also injured. I was brought to Hyderabad. And then you all know the next day the towing happened. And the same day the towing happened, the High Court also gave us a fresh permission. Not to forget that we already have a permission for the original Padayatra, but we also sought the High Court to give us a fresh permission, and the High Court gave us a fresh permission to carry on the Padayatra. And since then, we have been asking the police department to allow us to do the Padayatra, and after 10 days, the police department yesterday, last night, late night, rejected our appeal and said we are not going to give the permission. So this actually amounts to contempt of court. So
the police on its part says that they've given you a show cause notice. They say, what assurance do they have from your end that there won't be violence once again?
There hasn't been violence from our side all through the Padayatra. I have done 3,500 kilometers of Padayatra, and please mind that there hasn't been any act of violence from our side. It was the TRS gundas that attacked us, that burnt our bus down, that actually created the havoc. It had never been from our side. And also, we are protesting here today, even in the Ambedkar statue. That's what happened. We gave Dr. Ambedkar Sahib a memorandum citing that KCR has been killing democracy in Telangana. And so we are here on a hunger strike, fasting unto death, demanding that democracy be protected by KCR and that we be granted the permission for Padayatra.
They're calling you a BJP agent after your conversation with Prime Minister Modi. Okay, that was YS Sharmila, who was denied permission once again for her Padayatra, and now she's here on a strike demanding justice.
Taking this across to my colleague Swastika, who was just taking that interview with YS Sharmila. Swastika, clearly she did not want to answer that entire question or the critique against her, calling her a BJP agent. However, the other stuff that she has said in the interview is making it amply clear on what her stance so far has been, and she is out there to attack the KCR government in the state.
Well, that's right. And in fact, when I asked her about her conversation with Prime Minister Modi, she refused to answer that question. And amplifying on this, the TRS says that it is now very clear that Sharmila is being floated by the BJP here and being used as a vote cutter to cut into the base of the Congress party. They say, the TRS says that they are going to remain unaffected. They in fact consider her as non-entity as far as Telangana is concerned. I'll just very quickly tell you what's happening right now. Sharmila in fact is now sitting on the road. The police gherraring her. They have detained the YSRTP workers. They're not allowing her to move any further. And if she does, there is a risk of, and there is a chance of her getting detained once again. We want justice slogans being raised by the YSRTP cadres here. Sharmila here has now sat on a dharna that she's going to continue till the police from Warangal, in fact, give her permission to continue with her Padayatra.
But Swastika, the fact that this detention has happened yet again, despite that go-ahead, why again this similar scenes are being played out that we are putting out for our viewers?
Well, the fact of the case is that the Telangana High Court, remember, had given Sharmila the go-ahead to go and reapply for permission, to which the YSRTP had applied for permission. They, in fact, submitted a petition with the DGP of the Telangana police. They also gave it to the Warangal police. But the Warangal police, remember, yesterday rejected her request, saying they're not going to give her permission because it's once again going to trigger violence in that area, and they do not want to risk it. They have even squarely blamed her for the violence that took place earlier, saying she was the one who had created law and order situation. And that's the reason why Sharmila today, after she paid homage to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, came here. She was detained and then she was dropped here at her Lotus Pond residence, and now she's spotted on the road demanding permission.
So, Swastika, you are essentially saying that for some areas where that go-ahead possibly was given, for Warangal especially, it was denied, and that's why this detention once again has happened. And we have seen how earlier as well, when that entire march to, the KCR's residence, where the YSRTP leaders along with the workers really was planned, that was stopped and stalled, and how her own family members, including her mother and her husband, were detained, barred from seeing her. All of that, and then similar scenes today as well.
Absolutely. In fact, today Sharmila was at a statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to pay her homage. From there, in fact, she submitted a memorandum to the statue over what she calls the tyranny of KCR. Now, from there, as workers started gathering, the police picked her up and then dropped her to her Lotus Pond residence, where she is now protesting, sitting in the middle of the road. Many YSRTP workers have now been detained, and in fact, they've been taken away in police vans. But as far as Sharmila is concerned, they have surrounded her. And in fact, if she moves any further from where she is currently, she is also most likely going to be detained once again.
All right.